Hello, my name is Madam Jennifer from Educare TZ. Welcome, my lovely Form 2 students in a biology session. In today's session, we are going to solve the Necta question for the year 2020. Welcome. Today's question is question number 5 for the year 2020, and it is stated as follows. The first, Roman A, differentiate eukaryotic from prokaryotic cell. Differentiate eukaryotic from prokaryotic cell. The Roman B, choose any two parts found in an animal cell and briefly explain one function for each. Choose any two parts found in an animal cell and briefly explain one function for each. The last one is why most of the plant cells have cellulose cell wall. Briefly explain why most of the plant cells have cellulose cell wall. Briefly explain. My lovely Form 2 students, before we answer the question, now let us be familiar with the instruction. The Roman A question, you are needed just to differentiate, not to give the difference. Differentiate between the eukaryotic and prokaryotic cell. The Roman B, you are needed to choose any two parts. Only two parts of the organisms which are found in the animal cell, and after choosing them, give one function for each chosen part. And the last one, you are asked to give a briefly explanation to state on why plant cells are made up of the cellulose cell wall. Now, in order to answer the question, this question has been derived from that of the very lovely topic of the cell structure and organization. This is a Form 1 topic, so you are needed to have a deep understanding pertaining this whole topic of the cell structure and organization so that you can answer the question very correctly. So, by starting with the first question, Roman A, my lovely Form 2 students, we know that the cell is the basic structural functional unit of the life, and all living organisms are made up of cell, either unicellular or multicellular. And we have two main types of the cell. We have the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Once we talk on the prokaryotic cell, these are the cell which lack the nuclear bond organelles, and they are found on this organism which are known as the prokaryotes. Prokaryotes, these are single cell organisms which lack nuclear bond membrane. While the eukaryotic cell, these are the cells which have the nuclear bond organelles, and they are found in this organism which are known as the eukaryotes. Example of the eukaryotes, they are plant and animal cells. These are the example of the eukaryotes. They are the organelles and the nucleus are bonded by the nuclear bond membrane. So this is the greatest difference. The question number 5, Roman B, you are needed to choose any two parts found in animal cell and briefly explain one function of each cell. You said that we have two types of the eukaryotic cell, the plant and animal cell. So the question, Roman B, you are needed to know, to have a deep understanding pertaining the concept of the animal cell, the structure, the whole structure of the animal cell. You are needed to choose only two structures, organisms which are found within them. Also, you have to state the function. We have variety of the structure organelles which are found within the animal cell. There is a nucleus, cytoplasm, mitochondria, cell membrane, as well as the vacuole. So you are needed to choose either only two and state their function. The last one, you are needed to state why plant cell are made up of cellulose. In addition, plant and animal cell are similar, but there are two structures which are different, which are not found in animal cell but they are found in plants, and these are the cellular form as well as the chloroplast. So the animal cell does not contain the cell wall, while the plant cell tend to contain the cell wall, which is made up of the cellulose. So what is the major function of this cellulose in plant cell? So that is all about our question. Now let us answer the questions as follows. By starting with the question, Roman A, you are needed to differentiate between the eukaryotic from prokaryotic cell. Now, by starting with the prokaryotic cell, the prokaryotic cell is a type of cell in which nuclear material, the chromosome, DNA, are not bound within the membrane. So these are the cells which lack the membrane bonding, the nuclear bond membrane. In short, meaning that the DNA chromosome are not enclosed by the nuclear membrane. While the eukaryotic cell, these are the type of cell where organelles are enclosed in the membrane or nuclear membrane. So their DNA and the chromosome are enclosed within the nuclear membrane. So that is the greatest difference. So you are needed just to answer simply like that. And for those who has answered like that, they get all the marks. They awarded the marks for this particular question, Romani Romani A. The question Romani B. You are needed to choose any two parts found in animal cell and briefly explain one function for each. Here, I have given you a structure of the animal cell. For those who are not familiar with the animal cell, this is how it looks like. And these are the structure which are found within the animal cell. So the question is you to choose two structures, organelles which are found in this organism, this animal cell, either mitochondria. You can choose either mitochondria, a cytoplasm, or cytoplasm and nuclear, or nuclear and cell membrane, whatever, only two. After choosing, either if I choose the mitochondria and cytoplasm, or if I choose the nuclear and cytoplasm, nuclear and cell membrane, you have to state only one function for each chosen part. So, I have chosen the cell membrane as my point of interest. I have chosen the cell membrane. As you see in this diagram, these whole contents which are found within here, mitochondria, cytoplasm, and nucleus, they are enclosed and they're surrounded with this cell membrane. So what is the function now? So the function of the cell membrane is to enclose all the contents which are found within the cell. So its main function is to offer the protection. So the cell membrane, this is a thin layer that encloses the whole cell. So this is also the function to enclose the whole cell, or the contents which are found within the cell. Also, this membrane is flexible and semi-permeable. This cell membrane, you see here, it is very flexible and semi-permeable. Semi-permeable meaning that it only allows some water molecules and minerals to pass through, while others are restricted from entering. So the semi-permeable means it allows certain substances to pass in and out of the cell. So the main function of the cell membrane is to protect and to cover all the contents found in the cell. The another my organelles or structure of interest is cytoplasm. The cytoplasm, this is a jelly-like substance made up of water and dissolved chemical substance. So what is the function of the cytoplasm now? I know that it is a jelly-like substance, as you see in the diagram. This is a fluid which this organ tend to suspend within. So what is the function of this cytoplasm? The cytoplasm is a site for many chemical reactions in the cell. So the main function of the cytoplasm in the animal cell is to provide, which is a site for many chemical reactions to the cell, like respiration, photosynthesis, and so forth. So the cell organelles such as vacuole, mitochondria, and nucleus are suspended in the cytoplasm, also to provide the surface area for suspenders of these cell organelles like vacuole, nucleus, and mitochondria. Also, the last one, question for the question 5 Roman C. You are asked to give a brief explanation on why most of the plant cells have cellular cell wall. This is, I have been given you this diagram of the plant cell as you see here. Hapa ni mchoro ya plant cell, ambapo tumeangalia the variety of the organisms ambazo ziko hapa. Kuna nucleus, kuna vacuole, this is the largest one. Kuna chloroplast ambayo inasaidia katika photosynthesis katika plant cell. Kuna swali la mwaka inaonyesha kwa kitu gani kitatokea in case kama chloroplast be removed katika plant cell. So hii topic ni one of very crush, inatoka kwa njia mbalimbali. So inatakiwa uweze kuielewa in deep. So hapa ni chloroplast, hapa ni cell membrane, alafu kwa nje ndio kuna cell wall. Kwa hiyo tunatuambia kwamba kwa nini this one hii hapa cell wall is made up of cellulose in plants. What is the function of the cellulose in plant cell? This is our question. So, kwanza tujue what is cell wall now. Within the cell wall, where is this cellulose? Cell wall, this is the strongest covering made up of the cellulose surrounding the cell membrane. The cell wall is fully permeable. It allows the passage of water and mineral salt. So, why this cell wall is made up of the cellulose? Because the cellulose, this is one of the protein which is beta protein, which made the cellulose. So, this cell wall which are made up of the cellulose help in the protection and surrounding the cell. Also, it will provide the cell will give the plant a definite shape because it is very rigid. So the cell wall tend to provide the rigidity to the cell, so to offer or to confer the protection and protective role to the cell, to the plant cell. Also, it is the one of the structure which help to provide the plant cell its definite shape. We have seen in the plant cell, in the animal cell, the structure was irregular. This is because the plant cell does not have this cell wall. So it tends to have the irregular shape, where the plant cell tends to have the definite or regular shape due to the presence of this cell wall, which is made of this cellulose. So the rigidity of this cell wall tends to provide the role of the protection, and the main one is by the maintaining of this shape of the plant cell. And the question number 6, that was all about the question number 5 for the year 2020. The question number 60 for the year 2020 stated that Roman A, state 3 laboratory rules. State 3 laboratory rules. And the question Roman B, figure 1 represents an instrument used to magnify two small objects or organisms in biology laboratory. Study it carefully and then answer the question that follow. This is a diagram has been given here. It has been given in letters to be labeled. Here, there is letter A, there is letter B, there is letter C, there is letter D, there is letter E, and letter F. You are being asked to study the diagram very carefully. After studying it now, you can answer the question that follow. The question Roman A for part B question, name the part labeled A to F, and the Roman B states the function of the part labeled E. My lovely Form 2 students, this question has been derived from our lovely topic of the biology laboratory. It is Form 1 topic. So in order to answer it very correctly and ensure that you get all the awarded marks in this particular question, you need to have a deep understanding on this topic of the biology laboratory. Every topic and each topic you learn in biology is very important for the performing in your Form 2 and in your Form 4 Necta question. So make sure that you understand the question, you follow the session very carefully so that you can understand and have a competence on how to tackle the question. Don't memorize, but make sure that you understand the concept. So this topic I've teach here at Edukia Media. Please, kama bado hujafuatilia, you are mostly welcome. Just subscribe and write the biological laboratory Form 2 topic. Now you can have a full package pertaining this particular topic and you can read it to get a whole knowledge. So the question Romani CA for question number 6, we need to state only 3 biology laboratory rules. Make sure that you follow the instruction. Once you asked it to give 3, please give only 3 points. So, as long as you are biologist now, because you're studying biology, you're biologist. So long as you're biologist, you are performing a variety of biological experiments in the biological laboratory. So once you are performing these experiments, you are using the apparatuses, chemicals. You are using apparatus, chemicals, as well as the specimens which has been allocated there. These models which has been there within the biological laboratory. So there are rules and regulations which needed to be followed so as to ensure the safety once you are in the laboratory. So now let us see them. While also in question Roman B, here you have been given a scenario that the figure 1 represents an instrument used to magnify two small objects or organisms in biological laboratory. The specimen or instrument that used in magnification process in the laboratory is microscope. So this is an instrument that is used by the biologist to magnify these specimens which cannot be seen by using our naked eyes, but we just use them by the use of this microscope. So you have, after knowing that this is a microscope now, you have been given a diagram, you have to observe it carefully, then you can answer the question that follow in this particular question. And this is a microscope. Here you have been given the parts which has been labeled, and you has been asked to label the part A up to part F. By giving the labeling roughly, this A, this located the earpiece, this is where the observer, the biologist used to put his eyes to see the specimen. This has been magnified. This is the cause adjustment tube. No, this inasaidia katika sharpness, katika kuweza kuallocate the sharpness of an image. Alafu hapa hapa ni objective lens ambayo inasaidia hapa sasa, zipo nyingi. Inasaidia katika kuna ya 10, inasaidia katika magnification, inategemea unataka specimen wako mkuze mara ngapi. Alafu hapa D hapa ni stage. Stage, this is where the microscopic slide are being placed during the observation. And the E hapa ni mirror ambayo inasaidia katika kudirect light to katika kuweza kudirect the light to the lens kwa ajili ya observation. And the F hapa ni base kwa ajili ya supporting of the whole microscope. So the function of the mpaka hapo tayari nimeshajibu. So now let us see the answer. By starting with the Roman A, you are needed to state 3 laboratory rules. You are needed to state the 3 laboratory rules. The first one, do not take laboratory specimen, chemicals or equipment out of the laboratory. As you perform biological experiment, kwa mfano, katika topic yako ya classification, utakapokuwa form 4, unaweza kupewa hata octopus. Octopus ni pweza. Unapewa pale pweza, unaweza kumobserve. Kwa tamaa zako unaona kwamba pweza ni chakula, unashawishika hizo hata kamguu tu kapweza utoroke nacho. No, that is very dangerous. Kwa sababu pale yule pweza amehifadhiwa na ile chloroform ili asiweze kuharibika. So utakapochukua tayari pale kuna chloroform, ukaenda ukampika huko, utapata shida. So it is very dangerous. So any specimen, hata umeona matunda, hata umeona machungwa, hata nyanya, don't take it. That is only specialized for the laboratory experiment. Vile vile, know all the location of all existing. In case of any danger, you have to know the location of any existing. Vile vile, do not use unlabeled chemicals. Tumia chemicals ambayo haijalebiwa. Hujui na matumizi gani. Hujui kama ni dangerous, kama ni flammable, kama ni corrosive and whatever. You don't know. So please don't use unlabeled chemical. Vile vile, never use dirty, cheap or cracked equipment. Kwa maabara, usitumie kifaa ambacho ni kichafu kwa sababu inaweza kapelekea contamination, usiweze kupata majibu ambayo sio, unapata majibu ambayo sio. Kwa mfano katika food testing, vile vile usitumie kifaa ambacho kimepasuka kwa sababu inaweza kapelekea ajali aidha ukajikata. So also it is very dangerous. The question Roman B, you has been given the diagram of the microscope and you has been asked to label the part A mpaka part F. The part A ilikuwa inawakilisha airpiece from the given diagram ya microscope. Please stop the video, turn back katika ile diagram, baada hapo then relate. So the A ni airpiece, B ni cause adjustment knob katika kuweza kutengeneza ile focusing or sharpness of an image, kuweza kusini very clearly. Alafu objective lens ndio C, D ni stage, E ni mirror, F ni base. Hizi parti za biological za microscope nimezielezea na nimezifundisha katika topic yetu ya biological laboratory from one topic. Please, kama hujaifuatilia, kama hujasoma, you are most welcome hapa Educare Media so that you can increase your understanding. And the question Roman 2, you are needed to state the function of the part labeled E. The part labeled E, this was a mirror. So what is the function of the mirror now? So the function of the mirror is to reflect and direct light to the specimen under the observation. Kwa katika kuweza kureflect na kuweza kudirect light ili observation ya specimen iweze kuwa rahisi. The last question is question number 7 for the year 2020. The question stated that, why is food chain considered to be most simple transfer of energy? Briefly explain. Vile vile, the question Roman B, construct a 4 possible food chain by using the following organism: grasses, lion, bacteria, zebra, hyena, and the giraffe. Na Roman C, explain the role played by the following organism, the food chain ambao umeweza kuname hapa. Umepewa grasses pamoja na bacteria. My lovely Form 2 student, this question has been derived from our lovely and interesting topic of the balance of nature. So, within the balance of nature, where you see the variety of the interaction between the biotic and the antibiotic component. Within kuna various form of the energy transfer of nutrient flow, where kuna food chain pamoja na food web. So tunapozungumzia food chain now, the food chain, this is a feeding relationship which show the sequence of energy flow from one organism to another. So swali letu ni kwamba kwa nini hapa food chain au the linear form of the energy flow is being considered very very much simpler? Kwa sababu tuseme kwamba kwanza ni sequence of energy flow from one organism to another. The one organism is the food of another. Meaning that katika food chain ni simpler kwa sababu katika this food chain only one organism moja anakuwepo, predator anakuwepo na only one food source. So sio kama katika food chain ambapo predator anaweza kuwa na more than 3 food source. Meaning that the elimination of one organism from an ecosystem cannot hinder the survival of the predator. While katika food chain, since only one predator have only one food source, so the elimination of the prey can result to the death or perishing of the predator. So it is one of the very simple, kwa sababu does not provide a variety or a wide feeding relationship or variety of the food source for these predators. So the food chain is being is being considered simple transfer of energy because in food chain, the organism have only one food source. Example, predator and prey have only one predator, and meaning that if one organism is being eliminated from ecosystem, there is high rate of the death of the predator. Vilevile Roman B was being given the number of organism na unaweza kuambia construct 4 food chain. You construct a food chain from the given organism. Unaweza kupewa organism, kuna grass, kuna lion, kuna bacteria, kuna zebra, kuna hyena na kuna giraffe. Kabla hujachora lazima ujiulize. Grass ni producer, primary consumer, ni secondary, tertiary, quaternary or decomposer. Plants, grasses ni plants. So these are the producer. Second, lion. Lion huyu hapa ni anakula nyama. This is carnivores. Bacteria. Bacteria huyu hapa anakula mabaki. These are the decomposers. Zebra. Zebra anakula nyasi au anakula nyama. Huyu hapa ni herbivores. Hyena. Huyu ni fisi. Fisi anakula nyama. Anakula nyama. Vilevile giraffe. Giraffe huyu hapa ni twiga. Twiga anakula majani. So mpaka hapo tayari ushajua. Herbivores, tuna giraffe pamoja na zebra. Producer tuna grass. Carnivores tuna lion pamoja na hyena. Afu decomposer tuna bacteria. Mpaka hapo tayari ushajua namna gani unaweza kuchora your food chain. So mimi ya kwangu nimechora hapa 4, tunaambia only 4. Grass ana beaten by zebra, zebra ana beaten by the lion. So grass ni producer, zebra ni primary consumer. Huyu hapa lion, huyu hapa ni secondary, the bacteria anakuwa ni the last one. Alafu grasses tena anaitiwa na giraffe, giraffe anaitiwa na lion, lion ana be decomposed by the bacteria. Grasses ana beaten by the zebra, zebra ana eaten by lion na bacteria anamla hyena. Na grasses analiwa na giraffe, giraffe anaitiwa na hyena, hyena haya hapa ni mabaki. So the hyena anaanza akala mabaki ya pundamilia au mabaki ya giraffe. Na alafu wote akawa being decomposed by this bacteria kuweza kuensure the nutrient recycling into the ecosystem. So the last one, explain the role played by the following organism in the food chain you have constructed in the 7 above. Tumepewa grasses, tuelezee kazi ya grasses pamoja na bacteria katika hii hapa food chain. Tunaona kwamba the grasses, these are the primary producers because these are the autotroph. They are capable of manufacturing their own food through the process of photosynthesis or the use of this sunlight to manufacture their own food. So these are the producers. Lakini bacteria, these are the final consumers. So these are the decomposers. They tend to feed on those dead plant and animal remains so as to release back the nutrient that has been composed in these dead tissues into the ecosystem. So the bacteria, they are decomposer, and the grasses, they tend to function as a producer in an ecosystem. So, my lovely Form 2 students, that mark the end of our enjoyable and interesting topic here at Educare Media. Stay connected for further coming session here at Educare Media. Please keep on subscribing. Also, we are teaching other session and other subjects like physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics. Mostly welcome. Keep on watching. Have a nice moment.